Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. Today, let us understand the results of the planet Venus when it is placed in the third house. Third house has a lot of combinations, a lot of significations. Particularly, it represents the throat, the ear, the upper part of the shoulder bones, the shoulder collar bones, and the upper part of your lungs, then your arms, the arm strength, the wrist, the fingers. So you can understand the body parts which are covered by the third house is also very important. Anyway, all the houses are important. The sole of the feet for the 12th house, it's also important. We can't tell that. We can't ignore any part of the body, but still, uh, this arms are the ones which we use a lot in our day to day life, and hence the third house becomes extremely important. Third house also means getting involved with materialistic activities. This is not getting involved with spiritualistic activities. So try to understand. We call this as the opposite to the 11th house uh, from the Jaimini Sutras. If you understand, if I take this as the first house, it has 12 and 11 on the other side. One, the first house means second and third on the other side. So that means the 11th and the third houses are having the argala. It is like the 11th house, if it is heavily posited, the third house loses strength. But if the third house has even two malefic planets, it becomes a very strong argala. Shubhargalas, Papargalas, and all are there in the Jaimini Sutras, which I will discuss in the later classes when we start doing advanced level. But now, let us understand this very simple, that the 11th house is for Sannyasa Yoga, that is, foregoing and relinquishing things, 11th and 12th. So, the second and third houses are for gains, and third house is for activity, materialistic activity, that is getting involved in the samsara. So here, when Venus is posited, let us see what will happen. The third house is also for Bhratrusthana, that is for brothers, for regular activity, day-to-day activity, short travels, and many other small things which I'll keep taking up once I am into the detail of this. Firstly, we should understand that the third house is the fifth from the 11th house. So if I count 11, 12, first, second, and third. So it is the Purva Punya Sthana for the 11th house. So if a good planet is placed in the third house, it will not allow the native to go through the hardship and of relinquishing things or being very poor. See, relinquishing things is when you have it, you relinquish it. When you don't have anything, there will be a death to get it. For poor people, a good square meal, a good meal itself is a huge thing for them. If you are going to give a good meal on a festival day for poor people, that's an excellent remedy for the 11th house. But here in the third house, which is the Argala for the 11th house, when Venus is sitting there, beautiful activities with regard to materialistic, relationship with materialistic things of this world, artistic things, carving, a human brain getting involved with his hand and a chisel and a hammer and a mallet, he starts carving. He cuts off all the what is not required to bring out a beautiful statue or a figurine. So, an artist, a painter, who can simply take colors and a canvas of paper and make wonderful things out of it. Vocalist, that's because the vocal cords are also coming in the third house and beautiful, smooth, and sweet voice, well modulated voice, extremely accepted in the society. Not all voices are accepted in the society. So this voice with a Venus in the third house is very well accepted in the society. Stringed instruments, because once again the fingers and the arms are having a lot of dexterity. So dexterity means that both the people having Shukra in the 11th third house have very good fingers, beautiful fingers, and they know how to use them with playing musical instruments like the veena, the guitar, the violin. Very good. Even percussion instruments, the bands and all those things, you have to use your arms. You should be very good in your arms, muscular in your arms. So you need to have a Mars there with Venus in the third house to be a drummer. But still, Venus himself in the third house, an excellent position for a person to be a good writer, a painter, a vocalist, instrumentalist, musician, an artist, a skilled workman, an architect, an engineer, a designer, a fashion designer, a person who can play with colors, and even for people who are in biochemistry, microbiology, pure science, and many other professions. Venus is a big, it's a vast subject. So it can give any profession, including being a surgeon, a doctor, or anything like that. Because everybody who use their hands with good dexterity, Venus in the third house is excellent. So, third house is also the seventh from the ninth house. Ninth house is father or parental business, parental property. So, a person who has a strong third house with a beautiful Venus, I'm only talking about a positive Venus. I've just made notes of it. I've made a positive Venus notes here. So, the negative, you can please roll it the other side, flip it. I'll just give you some hints of how it might be negative in the end of the class. Continuation of family trade and family business. So, fantastic thing. People, the family will be expecting that the son or the daughter of the family would take up the family business and continue it. So if it doesn't happen, if the boy tells that you made me study engineering and now you have a sari shop, why should I sit in the shop? The parents obviously will be like, we did so much of hard work to put up this particular boutique or a shop. Who is going to take care of this in the later days? So they have their own worries, and the boy is like, I have done my engineering, I need the freedom to go out and show my skill. When Venus is in the third house, and sometimes even Jupiter in the third house, people, that is the native, will tell, okay, I am an engineer, fine, but let me continue my family business, put all my skill into this. Engineering does not mean that you should always own an industry. Put all the skill into this and see how I can develop it in a technical way. So people will be very happy to continue their family business and retain that heritage. So the other way around is that, the hint what I'm giving you is that if it is badly posited, Venus badly posited, they will be totally against the family business, or they will take up the business and spoil it. So it is also, the third house is also the ninth from the seventh. From the seventh, it is the ninth. So seventh house is a spouse, seventh house is relationships, and when the ninth house from the seventh house becomes a strong, then that is the third house, then there will be more emphasis on a second relationship, or the third house is usually tries to put a platform for a second marriage or something like that. So I will not tell that people will be promiscuous and always go into adultery or anything like that. No, because you need to see the seventh lord, you need to see the ninth house, how it is posited, because it's the opposite of the third house. So you need to see many other things. But the Lagnadipati itself. But still, the tendency, there is a leniency towards relationships or getting attracted to the opposite gender very fast. That is because of the Shukra. You can now understand that Shukra placed in the 11th house, people have tough time getting married. People having Shukra in the third house, they keep getting offers. See the funny thing, because 11th house is a sannyasa yoga, and a beautiful planet like Shukra sitting in the 11th house will give complete sannyasa if there is no malefic placement of any other planet in that position. So let us then understand that 11th house means getting deprived, or getting deprived happens when there are you know benefics weakly posited in the 11th house. Going through a self renunciation and telling that yes, I am strong enough to take the sannyasa now, that is when benefics are very well posited in the 11th house, not one, more than one. The other way around, if benefics are posited in the third house, it's a bad yoga if they are weak. You know why? They get indulged into materialistic afflictions. They get they are affectionate, they a lot of pull towards materialistic love. They would want to have a big car, they would want to have this. They do the comparative study that this fellow, he's a junior to me and he's already having a big car. Why should I not have? So these things keep happening a lot with people who are having a weak, Venus in the third house. The voice, the third house is also the voice eloquency, very, very fluent speech, excellent voice modulation. People would love to listen to their, vocal music, singing. Yeah, just listening to them itself, their voice is very good. They have a beautiful neck. Usually, not like me. I have covered my neck. So they have a beautiful neck. They have excellent shoulder bones. They have very good collar bones. These are the prominent features for a person to be an actor or an actress with the high cheekbones. These things happen in a good way when there is a strong sun, strong Lagnadipati, and a beautiful Venus in the third house. But generally speaking, these people look good. So they have a lot of friends, they are very busy in social activities, and they would be more participating kind of a person rather than a person who involves very deep into the social activity. Only if you have a Mars or you have a Sun which is strongly posited in the third house, because we need malefic planets in the third house for a person to get involved into social activities. It is not that easy, but that's why. Here it's only Shukra. So, diseases, people should be aware that if there are negative planets like Ketu, Rahu, retro Saturn, or a Saturn, or a weak Mars in the third house, because Mars is the Karaka for the third house, and if it is afflicted, and if the sixth lord is in the third house along with Venus, I'm telling about Venus, then people can get problems of repetitive throat infections, having problems of speech, having stammering problems. They don't get the flow of thought. Stammering can happen because of the vocal cord problem itself, and also it can happen because of the flow of thought from the brain. They want to speak, they try to speak earlier than the thought comes to them. So the words formation, everything is a little difficult if the third house is afflicted by Venus when it is weak, and also afflicted by other planets. So they might also get injuries in the wrist, wrist injuries. They can go with frozen shoulder or a tennis elbow. So these are common problems of the third house. I am not telling that it only can happen when Venus is there, but still, if Venus is badly posited, it can happen, because Venus also means the veins which pass through the arteries and the veins, all the piping system which takes the blood and gives the blood. So they have a lot of short travel, as I said earlier, for pleasure and leisure. They can also do very good business within the short travels, whatever they have. So they gain a lot of money. They gain a lot of money. Even like doing a tourism blog, or doing a eatery blog. People keep roaming around. They also get a lot of money because of that. So they have a lot of social influence, on people. um, that's because they also have friends in the social circles in the higher places. So they are always positive, and this is a good combination if Venus is unafflicted, placed very well, not even with any other benefic planet, which is very rare to happen because Venus is always very close to Mercury or Sun. So it's extremely difficult to have a single Venus in a house. But still, I have seen many charts where Venus is alone and posited in a house which is unafflicted, and I have seen that it gives rise to peculiarly beautiful people. Beautiful people in the heart and also in their real beauty of their stature. So this is an excellent planet to be in the third house, if unafflicted, because usually it gets afflicted. I have seen that more than 70% of the charts it gets afflicted. So thank you very much for today's class.